Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case out of Pima County, Arizona. And tonight, we're talking about the letter. She perished. She was taken, buried in nature, and maybe we're truly sorry. We're going to go deep diving on what those words mean and what they might suggest about who the person that did this heinous act to Miss Guthrie. A lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face.
You better sing.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me,
First
but here's the
person on
twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me
You might be the only one on
I've
this
been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, rubbing cold facts. Get the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust, hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Disclaimer. In no way, shape, or form are we accusing, blaming, or declaring anyone guilty of any crime. Everything discussed here is based on publicly available information, media reports, court records when available, and our own commentary and opinions. Everyone is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. This content is for discussion, awareness, and public interest commentary only. Please do not contact, harass, threaten, or attack anyone mentioned. We are here to ask the questions, examine information, and keep attention on these cases, not to convict anyone online. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is June 25th, 2026. It is currently 6:04 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States.
Hey everyone, so good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Tonight we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, 84 years old, missing out of Tucson, Arizona. And recently we have some very interesting information on this letter. We're getting more about the letter and we're going to talk more about that. And we are streaming on Kick for the first time in 4 years tonight as well. We got one in Kick. So guys, make sure you sub up to my Kick. I'm going to be I'm streaming back on there again. So make sure you're subbed up over there because I'm going to be going live over there sometimes when I might not be live other places. So make sure you sub up to my Kick. Really do appreciate you. Mods, if you could be so kind and please, you have my Kick. Lolo, I think, might have it. Lolo's in here. I'm pretty sure Lolo has it. Someone's got it in here probably. Good to see you all. Yeah, a lot to go over. Kick is like YouTube, but it's different. Less rules, shall we say. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to be subbed up at Kick. I'm going to start dropping all my socials because I got to expand a little bit. Did I get my hair done? Well, Linda, how'd you notice? Thank you so much. Yes, I did. Got my hair did. Good to see you guys. Never had a Kick. Well, yeah, go over to Kick. So tonight we're talking, we've got about 2 hours until the interview room goes live. It's going to be really good tonight. So make sure you guys join me over at the interview room, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Join me over there. It's about 2 hours from now. Hey, War, good to see you. Hey, Sugar, Lolo, Robin, Susan, Ruby, Leslie, always keeping it real. Miss Susan, Goose, Miss Robin. Thank you, Ramblin'. We got another Kick over there. Good to see you. Leslie, Miss Queenie, War, Miss Susan, Millie, how you doing, girl? Chris, good to see you. Lolo, thank you for dropping that Kick. Robin, good to see you. Bernie, bonjour. Gray, hello, darling. Appreciate you very, very much. 3 pugs and 1 Frenchie. I love that name. Love that name. I have a pug, my little Zha, but she's really old and it's not going to be good for little Zha. I mean, yeah, it's a long story, but she's old and I'm going to have to put her down soon. I dread it. Anyway, beauty from our lords. We got another Kicky in here. Pat, good to see you. Justin, new Marine video Kick is also TV app. Oh, they got a TV app now. Really? Interesting. Hey, Vibrator, good to see you. Susan, preschool granny. Miss Queenie, good to see you. Okay, so gonna get right to it because we don't have a lot of time tonight. Usually I do 3+ hours, but tonight I have about an hour and 10 minutes, or an hour and 15 minutes rather. And that's not a lot of time for me because you guys know I get to yapping and just don't stop. Okay, so hey, Carol, good to see you. My pug's name is Bagel. He is only 1 in sport right now. It's amazing. I know it's going to be really good, War. It's going to be really good. It really is. It's a pug. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I'm still shocked about what Maureen said yesterday. Well, I'm going to cover that today. So Miss Maureen, are you talking about you think they're getting close? That part? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Okay, guys, before we get started, if you would be so kind, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, whether you're on YouTube or on Kicky Poo or whatever you're on. Please do that. Greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would share this live, hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. Also, another thing, here on YouTube, if you would be so kind and please do me a big favor, hype this video. You get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. And the more, I guess, you communicate in chat, the more you hit the thumbs up, share the live, the more points you get. You have to do it after the live stream on your mobile device, your phone, your tablet, whatever. Also, after this live, if you would just type something in the comments, hashtag justice for Nancy, a smiley face, go to hell, Justin, whatever, doesn't matter to me. If you type something in the comments below, great. That helps even more. Yaya, thank you so much for your gift, babe. Appreciate you. Good to see you, my friend. When do we need to be on Kick for different coverage? Just whenever. Just whenever. It's just random. So you just got to make sure you're got it on Kick and set your notifications. The closed captions aren't available, my dear, until after the live stream. And it takes a little bit of time for the closed captions to work, like a couple hours. It's just has to like generate or whatever. But yeah, they will work. Annette, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Payday, need to thank. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. And good to see you, my dear. Really appreciate the support, my dear. Good to see you. Justin, you're such a oh, thank you so much, Joanne. Appreciate you, my dear. What Maureen said yesterday, Brian and Chris said that not what they heard the opposite from their sources. And that's the thing about this story, right? It's the thing about this story that just is never ending. One will hear this, one will hear that, one will say this, the other one will say that. And so we just really have no idea where this story is going. You, like I always say, usually in a true crime story, it's kind of the sources kind of line up. They might be a little different or whatever, but it kind of line up. Not in this case. One's this direction, one's this. I mean, it's north, east, south, and west all the time. Hey, Carol, thank you for joining us on Kick. Appreciate you. Hey, Possum Mom, good to see you. How you doing? Sources all over the place. Exactly. You're on Kick now. Great, Lori. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Very, very. Okay. So, now with, I want to say that, with, Maureen, she is former FBI agent, and she makes, and it's not really a source. So I think a lot of people are getting that confused. It's not really a source. I don't think that she's saying about, she's just predicting this from what I understand. And we'll get to that here shortly. She says, quote, think they're getting closer. Former FBI agent makes a stunning Nancy Guthrie prediction about the porch guy. Things are happening. I kind of agree. Thank you, Miss Rhonda. Appreciate you. I kind of agree on that because they're releasing these letters out now. They're not asking us, I mean, they're still asking us, about the porch guy and stuff, but they've not given any other names out. They've not given anything else out. And we're almost on the 6-month mark here. So I think Maureen is right, in my opinion. And we'll go to that as well. But we're going to get to last night. We were talking about, a lot of people thinks this is kind of feminine wording, if you will, with these letters and all of this. We'll talk about that. We're going to kind of go a little bit deeper into, oh, my camera just went off. We're going to go a little bit deeper into what that means. Okay. Okay. So let me find this real quick. Oh, guys, did y'all hear about this? One of my mods sent me this earlier. Hey, Jude, about the grandmother that was found dead in her apartment alongside her daughter and 4 grandchildren after neighbors raised concerns that they hadn't been seen in days. The circumstances surrounding the family's death remain unclear in the investigation. Suspect there, it was kind of, suspect that there were no other individuals involved. Did y'all hear about that? I think that's in New York or something. It's like nuts. I'm looking into that case as well. We're going to go to Megyn Kelly real quick. And let me show you this. Yes, it's been all over the news today. If you guys see anything about that, please send it my way, 307-228-4906 or alljusticeforyou@gmail.com. Love you too, darling. Good to see you. The world's just become evil. Well, I think the world's always been evil. I think we just have instant news now and we just know more. You know what I mean? Actually, I think crime's down, actually. Thank God. So, you know what it is. You heard that too, Pat? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's Marina. I love watching. She's got a podcast now with 3 other former law enforcement. Yeah. All right, here we go.
I will pay it. I will suck it up. And they aren't getting back to him. So what's the story there?
Well, maybe just as is the case with you, Megyn, maybe the FBI was tired of dealing with
Sheriff Harvey.
Yeah, exactly. Sheriff Harvey. That's right. I think they're close right now to pulling this case together. And that's what my sources are telling me.
What?
Yeah, things are happening.
Okay. Now, look, I didn't know she said that. Actually, I did not know she said that. So she says her sources are telling her that they're tying it up. And, you know, everyone has different sources. And it's, you know, who you talk to. And some people may know a lot more than others. Now, Maureen is FBI, right? So she gets probably sources that a lot of us cannot get. Let's just be real. So, you know, Chris's sources, Ashley's sources say, no. But I just feel like Maureen on this, that they're finally getting somewhere. We're at the 6-month mark. It may take another 6 months, but the way the Sheriff Doofy, even I can't stand him, but regardless, he said that we just want to make sure we got the right person, right? So there's that. You know what I mean? Hamitude, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you very, very much. If you received that pearl necklace, make sure you give our dear Hamitude a big old thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Hey, Jeanette, good to see you. Yeah, Lori, she is. Love her. Really good person. So Megyn was kind of shocked to hear that. You know, this is the thing. They didn't release this part of the letter until just the other day, right? And that tells me once law enforcement generally releases something. Thank you, LK. Thank you so much, babe. Good to see you, my friend. Once law enforcement releases something to you, it's old news to them, right? They are way ahead of it. Way ahead of it, right? So I agree with her on this.
Now to
listen to
pulling this case together, and that's what my sources are telling me.
What?
Yeah, things are happening, and but one of the reasons it's taking so long is because whatever defense attorney takes this investigation and represents whoever they charge in this case, you have to operate under the assumption, like from day one, you're doing your trial prep practically. Everything you do is geared toward trial and prosecution.
What have I told you guys since almost day one? When this goes to trial, guys, when this right here goes to trial, law enforcement has to have, you know, they have to have overwhelming evidence, because they could have 20 things that points to guilt, right, of this person, and 15 of those things can be thrown out, right? So they need multiple layers stuffed in this case so that there is no leaks in this tank, right? No leaks in this aquarium. That's why they want to make sure that they have enough. Yes, and that's what Maureen is saying here. Everyone, yes, absolutely, everyone is
We're going to have the greatest defense attorney in the world handling this case, whoever takes this case. So you have to operate under the assumption that a couple of big
I mean, guys, you guys know how I feel about I don't think I really don't think people really think as deep as a lot of people don't think as deep as I do into these things. But there's like the serial unalivers like Dahmer and Manson and all of them, and they'll be like merchandise and people will wear them on their shirt and all of that. I don't want to ever support evil on my body. I don't want to give license to that or anything. It's because you got to remember these people have taken lives, and you got to think about Brian Koberger case. That was a humongous case, right? 4 lives were taken by Brian Koberger. That was a humongous case. This right here, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, ever how many is going to be arrested in this case, it's going to be a whirlwind as well. Shar, thank you so much for your gift, my dear. Really do appreciate your support, my dear. Good to see you. Hey, Nick. So, remember John Wayne Gacy artwork makes me feel ill. Yeah. Yeah. And, there are people that cozy up to these cretins, and I just can't. I mean, maybe some in here, but there are people that even thinks Brian Koberger's innocent, and the man admitted to guilt. Okay. He admitted to guilt. He did it. It's over. Let it go. But anyway, that's just my opinion on it. It's going to be a frenzy. It really is. It really is. Okay.
chunks of your evidence may get tossed. I think we're getting closer. I actually really do think they're getting closer. And one thing, when James talks about being a negotiator, and he talked about every time a kidnapper puts out a ransom note, just the words have all kinds of implications. And so the same holds true for FBI agents when we speak to people on the outside. If we talk to them and there's optimism in our voice and we sound upbeat and we don't want to answer questions, the person we're talking to could say, wow, they're probably closer than we think they are.
Could you just expand on why you think they're they're getting there, that they're close to making an arrest?
I think they're getting close to
farm girl,
the porch guy. And when they get the porch guy, the floodgates shall swing open.
Thank you, baby.
What's your level of confidence on that?
Oh my God.
75%.
That's
not show
big
this video.
news.
I know.
It raises something else Howard Bloom said.
Okay, 75% she thinks that they are getting really close to the porch guy. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Oh, I shouldn't say that shit on here, Catherine. You can't say anything anymore. Forgive me.
In his reporting that he wrote
praising
that
the
they
Lord.
are thinking it was a group effort, like at least 2 at this point, because he reports they think the person writing about the Bitcoin was sophisticated. The letters, the words.
But nowadays, you really can't even freaking tell. You really can't even freaking tell because of AI. AI could have written it. But we're going to get into the language here in just a minute. The
English, the diction, whatever, was sophisticated. And that the guy on the porch to them seemed too bumbling to be the author. And again, that they may think that those 2 notes are...
I agree with this, right? I do agree with this. Lean, thank you so much for your gift, my dear. Really appreciate you. I do agree with this, right? I think this guy is He's probably a high school graduate, maybe some college, but probably not. And I do believe that there is more than one person involved in this. I do not think, I think one person committed the act, if you will. Maybe one person helped, another person helped carry Nancy out if she needed to be carried or whatever. But I don't think that this plan was his. You know what I mean? So, son, thank you so much, my dear reading for son. Thank you so much for your gift, my love. Really appreciate you very much. YouTube wants to change the English language in reality. Isn't that the truth? It's crazy. Don't get me booted off the street again. I will try not. Hey, Pat. Hey, Deb. Good to see you. Smiley. Luce, thank you so much, my dear. Okay, AI and definitely possibility. But I mean, you're just looking at this guy, just, at face value, he doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to be mentioning, in my opinion, she perished, which we're going to get in that.
Authentic. They may think, I don't know that. They're thinking the bumbler on the front porch, alleged bumbler, there's a difference of opinion there, is not the person who.
Sorry, I'm taking that thing off right now. Creators, don't do that photo. They are cracking down on it. Okay, so let's get to the language part that I want to talk about here. Very interesting stuff, right? So in part of the letter, hey, Charlene, good to see you, dear. In part of the letter, she perished, right? It's nothing that we normally kind of say here in the United States. A lot of people are saying that this could be someone from another area, right? From another area. Perish sounds like someone's avoiding the word about death, right? The word perish, it kind of removes the person from the act, right? It makes Nancy sounds like she's like the weather or food. We say the food perished. That's really the only time I know when we say, we say perishables or something like that. And then they say she died shortly. Oh, I don't have it on this list. Do I have it on my other list? We'll get to that one. Okay. But they were buried in nature. Buried in nature. Now, think about buried in nature. A lot of people are saying very poetic, right? Beth, thank you so much for your gift, babe. Really appreciate your support. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so very much. Hey, Catherine, thank you, love, so much. I really, really do appreciate you very much. And Beth, thank you so much, my love. Really appreciate the gifts, guys, and the support. Thank you. If I don't get to your gift while I'm gabbing here, I will get to it at the end, I promise you. Okay, so some people are saying that, yes, it could be poetic, but it can also be a manipulative, or it could be used even intentionally to throw someone off as well. Buried in nature, it's not a location, right? It's not a place. It just means nature. Nature's everywhere, right? They didn't give any specific location on that. Someone normal, right? They would say, for instance, like she's in the desert, or they might even write like she's next to a tree. She's next to a river. She's next to a creek. Something like that. She's near a road. She's buried near this marker. But nature is very vague, because anywhere outside is nature, right? Religious leaders talk like that. Do you mean the nature or the perished part, or all the above? Because it could truly be any of those, right? It could really be any of those. But it's very vague. The desert, the brush, mountains, rural land, anywhere, national forest. I mean, anywhere outside is nature. So was that, in there's mixed reporting on one of these things, and it was, "We are truly sorry." Some is reporting that they say that we are truly sorry, and others are saying they never directly apologize. So I put it on here. But like, who really apologizes after doing something like this? Who really apologizes? Is that a remorse, or is it a manipulation? It could be really anything, right? Let me pull something up here. They also write shortly after that she died shortly after, and it may be, a little bit of a timeline, if you will, but shortly after can mean 15 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. It could be a day, even after. She perished. She was taken and buried in nature. We are truly sorry for what happened. You will not find her. Do not try to follow, that kind of thing. It could mean that the writer is telling the truth, right? It could mean that they are compressing the timeline as well, to make the crime scene to not comfort the family, or it can be to comfort the family. It really just depends. What was that comment? In my opinion, it is more feminine in their verbiage. It does seem like, in my opinion, that a woman probably wrote this, or maybe someone that doesn't, that's not really used to the American language, English, if you will. Like I've said, if you go to really any other part of the world other than America, especially the Middle East, South Asia, that kind of thing, these people learn on the UK English, right? And the reason being is because, well, A, it's closer to them, but more importantly, way back when, the UK ruled a lot of these countries, right? Remember the saying, "The sun never sets on the British Empire"? Well, that's why, because they ruled the world at one point. The UK did, right? So they really speak more like the English, the true English people, if you will. You could, yes, you could write. You could ask AI to write using a feminine language, but I really, I'll say this: I don't think that this is AI, and I'll tell you why. Because of two letters, one word, we. The word "we." I've not heard anybody say this, though. A lot of people's like, "Yeah, it could be AI," and I've just said it could be AI. But I I think that if it was AI, in my opinion, they wouldn't write "we." Do you know what I mean? I think it would write ownership. I also think that they would be paranoid. I've not heard anybody say this either. I think that they would be paranoid that the FBI or whatever could take that sentence, plug it in to any AI, and find the person. I think they would be stupid to do that, right? Take this exact letter or even parts of it and plug it into AI, and they would be able to find him. So I don't think it's AI, in my opinion, but that's just me. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Pam. I didn't think a family could declare her dead. Does she have to be missing so many years and the court decides? So it can go either way. The FBI and the police and they can push this along much quicker, that they know that she's dead, and the court will make a decision. Now, we went to find a grave yesterday, and yesterday was the 24th. On the 23rd, it said, remind me, Chad, if you were in here yesterday, it said something about Nancy being dead or something the day before that, like that she was, I don't know if it said declared dead or what. I don't want to say that necessarily. But it was interesting. Yeah. And that's another thing. So before you see this going to trial, Nancy will be declared dead. She will be declared dead, because that's one thing the prosecutor, that's what they always say. Well, Nancy, maybe she was terminally ill and she didn't want to let anybody know, and maybe she, walked out on her own and, didn't want her family to work, or what they say, just all kinds of BS. Hey, Cuff, good to see you. I feel like Nanos will try to push it through. Maybe that was it reported deceased? Maybe that was what it was. I can't remember. So yeah. All right. Going a little bit more into this, she perished. It's a very formal, it's detached, it's less direct than died, right? May create an emotional distance. She was taken. It's a passive word, hides who took her, right? And avoids direct ownership, right? Not I took Nancy out at 2 a.m., but she was taken. It's a way to press that off, right? Thank you so much, 603. Ratui, hey, good to see you, babe. In nature, it's vague. There is no location. Like I said, it could be broad. It could be manipulative as well. You see, if these people are truly sorry, right? If they're truly sorry, why don't you say, she's in right outside of town, beside the road, at near mile marker 603. If you were truly sorry, you could say she's in nature, off 603, whatever highway, mile marker, whatever. They're not truly sorry. They know the whole world is on their ass, is why they're saying that. I hope you're right. That is a step is being taken now because Ellie is ready to make arrest. I think we're getting close. It passes off the responsibility of the crime they committed against Nancy. Bingo, 1,000%. Truly sorry. Again, different mixed reporting on this part. some people say that, the letter says they're truly sorry. I think Brian is saying they don't directly apologize on this. So, don't read too much into this one, in my opinion, but it may signal remorse. It could be, that they're managing how they look, which is probably what it is, in my opinion, or emotional manipulation, or both, right? And that she died not purposefully, right? It sounds like a built-in excuse. A built-in excuse. Well, we didn't mean for her to die, but she did, right? We just meant for her to get the shit scared out of her at 2 a.m. and holler off until you guys pay us. I mean, how stupid. I mean, these people, I just don't get. I mean, this guy at your bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, you look up and this mofo is over you. It's going to make anybody have a heart attack. The reporter, last name Whitney, said she's seen letter and it did not. That's right. We watched her yesterday. She's with Crime something now, but I can't remember if you're probably right on that. Grandmother poisoned them all. Just reported, FYI. Really, Sandy? Thank you for that. Hey, GT, good to see you, babe. Good to see you. Guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Please, please, please. All right. So the distancing language, the writer discusses the outcome more than the actions, right? They're not wanting to talk about their actions. They're not talking about Nancy, really. They're just talking about what happened. It gives an emotional impact, but upholds unuseful specifics, right? They're giving maybe, if you believe this letter or not, they're giving maybe what happened, but they're not giving really anything that people can really go on. Now, we can go on the words, but it doesn't give us a location. It doesn't tell us, what happened to Nancy. They said that it may have been a heart attack, right? Okay, Sassy. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Someone just came in and said that they were poisoned. Hey, Looking Beyond. Good to see you, babe. So, group or performance. This is the part that I am really, really interested in. It's 2-letter word, W-E, we. And again, this is why I don't think it's AI, because I don't think AI would say we if they were writing a letter. I mean, unless you ask them. But again, it kind of goes back to the thing. They could just plug in those words, that combination of words, and they would find the IP address to where this letter would generate from. So I don't think they did it with AI, in my opinion. We may indicate multiple people or one writer posing as a group. It could also be another way to have ownership of this, right? So narrative management, the language may be shaping how the family and the public interpret the events, right? Possible writer mindset controlled, evasive, image conscious. Image conscious. They are definitely image conscious. But if you go over this again, Porch Guy, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like he is the author of this. Now we're going to go to Brian Ensign real quick. If you are squeamish to about talking about human remains and all that, this is not your live stream, okay? Because it's going to be talking about the conditions in the how the conditions are found and all of that. I can go a little bit deeper into it as I commentate on this. Very much so. Very much so. Could have been an overdose of something. I mean, you never know. You never know. Maybe this letter is to make us think that it has something to do with Annie, and that's deliberate on their part. It very much could be. It could very much be. You know, that could be something that they want it to look more poetic or whatever. It's extremely possible. Happens every single day, right? So credit's going to go to our friend Brian Enton. He's up in the airport. God bless Brian. He is always working on the road. Leslie, oh, that was another thing. Thank you for mentioning that. Think about this, guys. Goose said, I think it's C, and friends always have. I owe him a big apology. If not, same. I love Zach. I mean, I don't love him, but I like him. I think he's a likable personality. But, you know, we'll see. But my mind always goes back to the Pew Pew store, the GN store. They were looking for those names. Again, it wasn't a John Smith or a Frank Thomas. It wasn't a name like that, right? And again, if you go back to the language that is used, perished, what else? My mind just went blank. Perished, was taken, in nature, not purposefully. All of those, buried in nature, that is going to sound like more UK English, how they're taught in like Middle East, India, Pakistan, all of those places where they were hard to pronounce names. Yes, it was like Sheikh Makboubi, you know, something that was, you know, not a Jeff Smith kind of name. Did Zach get the mask yet, Justin? No, he hasn't. He hasn't. I got it in. I got the new mask in. Actually, I have it over there. And I just need to send it out. I was supposed to send it out yesterday, but I will get it. I promise. Justin says it's going to be yucky. Also, I put away my snacks. Well, I mean, it's not that yucky, but, you know, Iranian names. It could be Iranian. It could be, you know, Saudi Arabia. It could be India. It could be Pakistan. It could be Afghani. It could be Iran. It could, you know, wherever. Arabic, generally.
The conditions in the desert and a body. So I want to play for you guys my full interview with Dr. Pamela Marshall. Dr. Marshall, thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I was really interested in talking to you just because I've been covering the Nancy Guthrie case really since that whole thing unfolded in Arizona. And you may have seen, you know, we've been reporting about the second ransom note that said that Nancy Guthrie was dead. And there's just a lot of intrigue into the desert and bodies in the desert. I know a lot of bodies have been discovered in the past in the desert. And a lot of people said, oh my gosh, with the desert, you'll never find someone out there. And even if you do, you know, it's such a harsh climate, it's even hard to find remains, but you've actually studied this. What can you tell us about actually finding remains in the desert?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of background. I am a faculty member in the New College of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences and an affiliate faculty member in the School of Interdisciplinary Forensics. And my forte really is engaging with and having like a ton of fun with undergraduates. And so I I do research almost exclusively with undergraduates. So if an undergraduate student comes to Arizona State University, they often are interested in performing research, just to see what it's like and to see what they can do. And so what ended up happening was that there was a undergraduate student who was really interested in microbes, and she was an undergraduate student who was a major in forensic science. And so she was trying to determine how to integrate microbes into her Barrett, the honors college thesis. So we spoke a lot with another colleague of mine named Dr. Caitlin Bolhoffner, and also Dr. Ken Sweat. And we came up with a project that had been initiated by Dr. Bolhoffner. She is interested in looking at decomposition in the desert. Now, one would think that, decomposition is decomposition. There's hundreds of papers across the literature about how decomposition works, but most of those papers are not done in the desert. They're actually done at body farms where people can donate their bodies and then scientists look at how decomposition occurs. And there's not one of these body farms, hopefully yet, in Arizona. Maybe we'll get one. And so Dr. Bolhoffner is a anthropologist, a forensic anthropologist. And so she was interested in decomposition as well as looking at it in the desert, because what she's told me, I'm more of a laboratory rat. And what she's told me is that you will often find areas where people have thought about burying a body, and they go and they start to dig, and then they hit, I don't know if you've ever dug in Arizona before, but it's just very, very difficult. And so they'll dump a body and then they'll potentially want to come back. And so she was interested in looking at bodies that had been dumped and moved. Now, we don't just do that with, some human being that we find. Right now, we use pig models instead. And so she took 2 clothed pig models and placed them, one under a mesquite tree and one out in the sun, and then moved them.
So when you say clothed, so I just want to make sure. So,
yeah.
So dead pigs that you...
Pigs are we have a lot of similar things, like our skin is very similar, and we use the heart valves and all that.
Put in humans' clothing?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah, they're kind of cute. Well, at the beginning. And then what she was interested in is looking at the decomposition and what that looks like in the desert with a body on top of the soil. But what the student was interested in, and what I was interested in, is going to where the body had originally been placed and asking the question, over a year later, is there any difference in where that body was placed, the soil underneath, or has it, after over a year, because it was over a year, or after over a year, does it look similar to the soil next to it? And so this was the experiment that the undergraduate student did, was go back to the initial site of the body placement. And the bodies were there for less than 5 weeks. This is just slightly north of Phoenix. So the body.
So it's a pig body.
Now
sorry
listen,
to interrupt you.
listen to how.
So it's a pig body in human clothing that you placed in a spot.
So listen how this progressed, right? North of Phoenix, the pig was there, dressed like a human, with clothing on, 5 weeks. Okay. Now, if you've been following me on the case out of South Carolina, Elena Moore, she was in the woods for about 6 days. And you could literally see where her legs were, her torso, everything. decomposition happens extraordinarily quickly. The moment we die, we lose oxygen, the cells break down, our intestines start leaking bacteria into every part of our body, into every single part of our body. It comes from our intestines, and then it putrefies. So
the desert for 5 weeks, and then you moved it.
Yes.
And you were interested in going back to the spot where it was originally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we went back to where the body had been originally, and the body again was only there for 5 weeks. It was in the late spring, and so the soil where the body had been placed went through a summer, and you know how the summers are now very dry. There was very little precipitation, so it was a summer, a fall, a winter, another spring. And so the student was interested in looking at that soil. Is there anything different about that soil where the body was placed and soil around it? Because we didn't take soil initially before the bodies were there. And so the student went and sampled soil, and then we asked a couple of questions. The first question was, are there any differences in any elements that are in the soil where the bodies were? So elements, carbon, nitrogen. And then also, are there any differences in microbes? There's been a lot of interest in the microbiome, the human microbiome, this microbiome, that microbiome. And so there are, there are lots and lots of papers about the necro microbiome, but again, not in the desert.
And what is that? I don't even, what is the microbiome?
Yeah. So the microbiome is just the collection of all of the bacteria that you find in an area. That's a little bit of a simplification, because if your viewers had watched Professor Stonehouse's video, then they know a little bit about DNA extraction.
Yeah.
And so
yes, it can be it really just depends on the humidity, and it depends any extreme heat or extreme cold can help preserve you. However, if she is placed below, which it says that Nancy has been buried, right? She's buried in nature. She's not as likely to be mummified. But also, if you're on top of the soil, then you're subjected to animals, right? And there's those pigs and stuff out there and all that. Just horrible that Nancy should be alive right now.
So the way that microbiomes, or asking the question, what microbes are in this sample, we also extract the DNA and then do similar steps to what Professor Stonehouse discussed. And then there are very powerful computing tools and some AI that will then tell you what microbes are there, in that what microbe DNA was there. They could
in
have
the
been
soil
alive or not alive in the soil.
And so what did you find? So after 5 weeks, you test the soil. First of all, could you even tell that anything was there at that point? Like,
yeah. So it was 5 weeks plus about a year.
Oh, plus, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 5 weeks plus a year.
Okay.
No, we really couldn't tell that anything was there. It just, looked like any sort of desert soil, but it had been marked by Dr. Bullhoffner. So the student, collected the soil and then did the analysis. And when she brought, and my hypothesis was a year in the desert nothing's going to be there. You have, and that's fine. Negative results are really important results. And well, you know what? I was wrong. The student actually was correct. And when she showed me the data and showed me that the soil that had been where the pig had lain for just 5 weeks was very different than a surrounding soil where the pig had never been, I almost fell out of my chair. I was just I'm a Trent then for surrounding soil. 5 weeks was very different than a surrounding soil where the pig had never been. I almost fell out of my chair. I was I was astounded. I thought it was just fantastic because intuitively I was wrong, thinking, a summer and a fall and a winter and a spring in Phoenix, everything was just going to die. And I do need to put a plug in for the Arizona State University DNA sequencing core that did all of the sequencing and the analysis. And so they were very, very helpful.
So was it that pig's DNA in the soil?
No, it wasn't. It was the bacteria.
It was the bacteria from the decomposition?
DNA degenerates after time. DNA, it degrades over, but the bacteria, so for instance, I hate to use this case, but it's the only case I can think of on the top of my head. Michael Joseph Vaughn, 5 years old, out of Fruitland, Idaho. He was kidnapped and buried down the street in the neighborhood's backyard. He was moved from that area and placed in an area that we still don't know yet today. But you're not going to get the DNA there, but because there is certain bacteria putrefacients that is in the ground, they can know that remains have been there. Also, cadaver dogs can also smell that kind of thing as well. And it, so there's that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So applying this to the real world, if there was a person that was killed, that was dumped in the desert, and then someone went back out to move them again, a year later, could they find evidence there? Does this mean that they could find evidence that the person was there?
Yes, absolutely. So with this first study, which was a proof of concept study, we've shown that if you have dumped a body in the desert and left it there for, we did 5 weeks,
So that's what I'm always saying. Some people will move a body, they'll get spooked or whatever, they'll move a body, but that's another risk for them, right? Let's say someone moved Nancy, right? They got spooked or whatever, and they move her. You cannot get the bacteria and everything out of the area where you placed her, right? It is not as common. It's a more risky thing, but people do move. It does happen. It is, again, risky, but regardless, Michael Vaughn was moved, for instance.
And then they moved it somewhere else. If you had a good idea of where you were looking, can take that.
Yep. When someone is, for instance, not embalmed specifically, the grass will die the first year. There will be nothing if a body is laid on top of the ground, or even, a shallow grave, there will not be any grass, because the nitrogen and all of that is, it burns the plants up. But the next year, when spring rolls around, the grass or the plant material, the weeds, will grow bright green, and it'll look just like it's been fertilized, pretty much. I think it's risky to drive around with the deceased body, so I believe she's buried close, no more than 5 miles away. Statistically, it's less than 25 max, but some people fall out of those statistics as well. So I figure she's probably just right outside of town somewhere.
At soil, extract DNA, do analysis, and then show that it is statistically.
I think of Savannah saying when she was coming home and she was leaving the airport and she was flying over Tucson, she thought to herself, "Mommy, where are you down there?" And that just broke my heart for her, because that she's down there somewhere, but you just don't know where.
Significantly different than surrounding soil. You can absolutely say, yes, there was a body here because it had a specific microbial signature. Furthermore, with the help of Dr. Ken Sweat, we also did elemental analysis, so looking at elements, and there were some different.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we think, Ratui. That's what, when we think of nature, we think of these trees, and at least I do. I think of a lush, but this is Tucson. It's more brushy and cactus-y. You know what I mean? There's not like these big trees. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a big desert.
Differences in the chemical elements as well.
How much did the pig, and look, I feel bad talking about this, because we're obviously, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm covering a story about a human. So I do feel but this is science. I mean, it's important. I mean, this is science. I mean, and police have to deal with these things. But how much did the pig decompose in the desert after 5 months?
Oh, 5 weeks?
5 weeks. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 weeks before you moved it.
They are really very mummified. They are still identifiable as a pig. The clothing.
Now, you got to remember, though, with this, it is a controlled setting. So what they do is they put like a cage around it, the cadaver, so wildlife can't get to it in most cases. Now, sometimes they'll, leave it out in nature, and whatever happens, based upon whatever their scientific experiment is. But in this case, they probably had a cage over it.
Is still on them, but they look very dried out and leathery, sort of sorry, my email.
But identifiable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely identifiable. Yeah.
And just so people, because I think people are probably thinking this, watching this, you guys didn't kill the pigs, did you?
No, they were obtained from a slaughterhouse.
Okay. So when you moved the pig after 5 weeks, where did the pig go? To a different spot in the desert?
The pig went to a different spot because Dr. Bolhoffner was looking at other aspects of the decomposition.
And what did you find then at the second location?
At the second location, the soil where the pig had been left was quite similar. I shouldn't say quite similar. It was still statistically significantly different from the soil that didn't have the pig. It had different components in it and different bacteria in it. And the reason why was that the pig was still there. And so it was still actively decomposing.
Yeah. So you went back after a year and you were able to find bacteria connecting back to the pig, even after a year in the desert and the pig wasn't there for a year.
Correct. Yes. And elements also.
And elements.
And other people have shown the elements as well. So
how long, so you went after a year, but what do you, just based on what you've learned, and I know you might not know the exact answer to this, but if you went back after a year and a half, if you went back after 2 years, do you think you would have had the same result? Do you think you would have still?
So we actually followed up and went back again. So after a total of over 2.5 years.
Listen to this.
And what we saw was that the soil that was under the tree was no longer showing the microbial signature, but the soil that was just out in the sun actually still had relatively, I shouldn't say relatively, we haven't done the statistics yet, so I can't say statistically. No, I did do the statistics. I did principal component analysis. So we had the 2 pigs, one under a tree, one just out in the sun. The soil where the pig had been placed in the sun was still statistically significantly different than the soil around it.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. Guys, make sure you watch the rest of this on Brian Inton's channel. I got to move on because I am pushed for time today because we're going over to the interview room right after this. I want to get to Fox 10 Phoenix. Nancy Guthrie, private investigator, discusses the 143rd day of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance here. And let me get to it there. Thank you, Deb. Appreciate you, babe. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Justin, many of us in the Pearl fam for the past months believe Savannah should have insisted search parties should have gone out frequently. And now look, the second ransom note buried in nature. Yes. But, you know, the thing I wonder about that, Deb, is it seems like they have, and it's very interesting to me why Nanos and them have not allowed search parties in, right? Are they, I mean, he's not even responding back to them. Again, this is not on his dime. They have more equipment than the police does when it comes to finding remains. That's what they do. So, you know, is the FBI, you know, telling, you know, Savannah and them, nope, don't go out for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah. Yep. Buried in nature. But again, just because they say she's buried in nature, you know, are we going to believe a killer? He's probably a liar too. But who knows, right? That's the mystery of it. To me, that sounds like Native American terminology. Nobody is going to search a reservation. Interesting. A lot of people's talked about the reservations and stuff because they can go to Mexico even that way. RC, if it were my mother and I could afford it, I would have them everywhere knowing the body was out there. Yeah. How does Nanos control search parties is beyond me. Well, this is the thing. It's not that he controls them, but the search parties will not go like EquiSearch, United Cajun Navy, probably the 2 best in my opinion. They won't go out there unless they have the blessing of the police, right? Maybe. Possibly. There's something very strange why no searching can't figure that out. Justin, do you think it was a female who wrote the second note of Savannah? I think it was either someone that English is not their first primary language, or it is a female. One or the other. Thank you, James. Thank you, babe. Appreciate you very much. Very kind of you. If it was me, I would be out every day with search parties. Yeah. Maybe they just laid her somewhere. The ground sounds like it is cement. Very possible. You'd have to have an idea of even where to start. I don't think people realize how big the world is, how vast the desert is. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing that I can say is search near roads and trails, because you're going to be buried close to a road, a trail, something like that generally. But I think that Savannah could hire her own private team instead of having the sheriff do it. And I think it might have helped, or at least eliminate, just in case. Listen, every search is a success because you know where she's not, essentially, right? Justin, that's not nice. The killer probably draws the line of lying, right? Maybe be a killer, but definitely not a liar. Yeah, exactly. Also, I believe if it's a reservation or sacred ground, they also have to get a blessing and permission by the head honcho. Well, you know, I don't necessarily think a murderer really asks for permission, though. You know what I mean? The concrete came in my mind as well. That sounds confident that she won't be found. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, private investigator.
1 and day 3, most likely between day 1 and day 2. She accidentally died. She didn't accidentally die. Okay, she died because a guy went into her house, picked her up in the bed, and threw her over his shoulder. That's why she died. Whatever that happened, whatever the nosebleed, you know, that's where the blood was coming from. So it didn't surprise me at all. I've always believed that happened. I wanted to get a hold of Savannah. I tried a couple of times to get a hold of Savannah. Because of the length of time I've been in this business. I spent a lot of time in Mexico. I have people in Mexico. I have people that can contact the cartel and just sit and talk. And I've done this before. Sit and talk with them and say, look, just tell us where the body is. That, you know, that we just want to get the body back, and you'll get X amount of dollars. But I mean, actually sit down, you know, somebody in Mexico, sit down with them, talk to them and say, look, if you weren't behind this, you can easily find out who was, like that. Find out who it was, get the body, get it back to Nancy or tell her where it is, and you'll get X amount of dollars. That's what I wanted to do a long time ago. But unfortunately, she never responded to any of the messages.
Logan, too, if we could talk about the financial.
Right. And let's think about that a second. This person that kept contacting TMZ, they kept saying, oh my God, I'm freaking right here. I know what happened to Nancy, but the FBI aren't taking me seriously and all of that. Now, it could be a fake. I truly believe that the person that was contacting Harvey is real, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll have to see on that. Do you think that they should have offered them money, an X amount of dollars, to say where the body is? What do you think? Remember the wild coyotes going nuts a couple of days after Behind Annie's? It was with JRL's live. We thought it was scary and strange. Yes. Pigs don't eat the teeth. Am I right? Yes, they do eat the teeth. They do eat teeth. They eat everything. They'll eat everything. And this is the thing. Any bone that they eat, it's just digested. Just digested. For instance, if you were in school or if you've been in, college classes where you dissect like owl excretion, you will find mice bones in their stool. It's the same. It's the same.
Component of this. That second note didn't have money mentioned in it. The first one, of course, they were talking about the millions of crypto. What was your take on that?
The person's obviously feeling bad. What it tells me is that someone hired them, told them. For example, if it was a cartel, if it was a gang or whatever, they picked these two guys or three guys, whatever it was. I've always said it's more than one. I couldn't believe after 6 weeks or 8 weeks, the sheriff goes, I think there was more than one person. That's obvious. To me, it tells me that the people who did it wrote that letter, and because they feel bad, I'm sure they got paid, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 to do this, and then the ransom was going to be by somebody above.
What do you think? Do you agree with this PI? Do you think that this guy, for instance, the porch guy, did he get paid to do this? Or was the ransom part of the ransom promise to him? Were they going to split it up? Did he not get paid at all? Did he do it just on his own because he wanted this done? If they felt bad, they would have not taken Nancy. Yeah. Possums will gnaw on bones for sure. Oh, yeah. Yes, he was paid to do it.
Them.
Think so?
And those guys may be, they may be dead.
And that's true. A lot of times people will unalive the people that they had do it, right? They don't want them talking.
Killed by the people who told them.
I don't think in this case, though, it's that.
But it shows guilt to me. It shows sorrow. They feel bad that she died. It wasn't supposed to. I guarantee you, this was somebody told them, look, this is an 84-year-old woman. This is going to be easy. Nobody's going to get hurt. And blah, blah, blah. That's what they always say. And it just went bad. It went wrong. And the whole thing, from the moment that happened, and it could have happened that first night or early the next morning, they went, oh, shit. Now what do we do?
So in theory, the perpetrator is not the brains behind the operation. There's a multi-level thing going on here. Logan, let me ask you, so there were some other theories that maybe someone writing these notes is actually female, even though...
Maybe. 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 If he was the supposed to get paid and he wasn't, then he's at risk for the porch guy to give away the chef. It's very possible, but also you don't want to go down either, right? Unless they already have you, like they're already on to you, then you'll give it up, right? But he's not going to volunteer. You know what I mean? Hey, question, have the pool guys and such still been going to the house? Yes.
They've been using more male clues and pseudonyms. And I think that goes back to the guilt part.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that say anything to you?
It Well, the first thing it makes me think of is that the guy's wife that was involved, one of the two guys that was involved, their wife knows about it, and the wife is feeling bad and guilty, and she might have written the letter on her own. It's, you know, whether she said, I'm going to do this, whether you like it or not, or, you know, whatever agreement they made, it could very easily come from a woman. Could be a girlfriend, could be a mother, could be a wife, but it's somebody connected to them that feels bad because everything went so wrong.
Guys, we just hit 43,000 subs.
Kidnap an
Thank you.
84-year-old woman that has heart problems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What could go wrong?
Logan, on that point too, TMZ's Harvey Levin was speaking earlier. Yes, talking earlier with Fox today and laid just that scenario out. Apparently, his sources with the FBI, the person that they've been communicating with the whole time and coordinating about the letters that they were receiving, the notes, the communication, they were saying it seems like the hammer's about to drop on this crew.
Listen to this.
Find out we have that bite if we could play that.
Listen to this.
YouTube. And this is the second time this person said this to me, that the likelihood is this case is going to be solved in 6 months, a year, 2 years. Somebody goes to a bar and starts bragging about it, or an ex-lover decides, screw my ex and I'm going to authorities to blow the whistle.
All it takes is one pissed off wife or girlfriend. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You better keep your women happy, okay? You better keep them happy or it's going to leak, mother chicken. It's going to leak. Yeah, we just hit 43,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. The way the note seemed as if she cared make you feel if someone they knew. I agree. I mean, you got to think about this. This has to be, in my opinion, someone that knows Nancy. Nobody came in there like Chris from the interview room says, this road is a bowl of spaghetti. No way in hell. No way in hell. Right. Thank you, guys. When did Justin start? I started an hour and a half ago. D. Sherry, you are late, girlfriend. You are late. Where is my late button when I need it? I cannot find it. Where's my late button? Did I get rid of it? Please don't tell me I got rid of it. Okay, I got it. D. Sherry to the office, please. D. Sherry to the office, please. You're being paid. Do we need a late slip for D. Sherry? Good to see you, darling. Thank you for being with us. Now listen to this.
Decides, screw my ex and I'm going to authorities to blow the whistle, that they believe that is going to happen. That it may happen sooner or later, but they really believe.
So Logan, that was exactly what you were talking about there, that it's only a matter of time till someone opens their mouth, someone spills about this case.
It will happen. And time, a lot of cases the first thing I do is I look for ex-wives. I really do. I look for ex-wives, and I find of the person I'm investigating, I'll look for his ex-wife. I don't care if it's 5 years ago, 8 years ago, because she can tell me so much about the person that she divorced. And most of the time it's son of a
yeah.
And they start talking, they open up, and they do. When they break up, and there's part revenge in there too. If it was a bad breakup, with a girlfriend or a wife, then they did it just to get back at them.
Okay, guys. Did the person know Nancy, or the person who had this done to Nancy, was this person known or was this random? Put a 1 in the chat for known, put a 2 in the chat for random, and it will automatically add it to this poll. Was this person known to Nancy or the person that had it done, or was this random? There is no right or wrong answer. Vote how you vote. Feel how you feel. 1 or 2 in chat. Hey, mini panthers in chat. It takes this. All it takes is 1 drink. That's all. That's all it takes. 1 pissed off person. So right now we're at 93% known, 7% say random. Way too comfortable, in my opinion. Yeah.
Out of spite, revenge.
Yep.
And also feeling very bad. I mean, like, you idiot, you guys screwed this up.
You know, can you imagine having that on your heart? You know what I mean? You just, like, that would be really, really bad to have that on your heart. Especially if you didn't do it, but you knew who did. That would be hard.
Killed her. And this could have been so easy and nobody would get hurt and we'd have $6 million, you know, or whatever money. That can get somebody really upset that they didn't get the money because they didn't get to share in the money because these guys were idiots and they handled her. Throwing an 84-year-old woman over your shoulder. And the reason I say over the shoulder is because of the blood drops, where the blood drops were. No footsteps were in the blood. That means he wasn't carrying her in his arms. Right?
Thank you, Lori, for gifting a pearl necklace, my darling. Appreciate you very much. If you received that, make sure you give our Lori a big old thank you. Thank you, baby.
Right? And face down, and that's where the blood's dropping because he would have stepped into the blood.
Members.
He throws her over his shoulder. It bleeds from the nose and drops.
Sure.
Good point.
So
Good point there. Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's
Thank you, Connie.
You do that to an 84-year-old woman that has these medical problems. You think nothing's going to go wrong?
Logan, when this is solved, what's your guess? Is it going to be something like some angry ex-wife? Is it going to be actual leads followed through by law enforcement through that video, through the notes they've seen, through TMZ? Any guess on what's the more likely way we get to a conclusion here?
75 to 80% of the cases that are solved by police departments are solved because they have somebody flipped. 75%.
Wow.
Also,
crime, literally, because someone.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. But also, we got to think about this as well. If they'll unalive someone, they're into other crime. This isn't the first crime that porch guy ever committed. It doesn't mean he's unalived a person before, but he's probably into other crime, which means a lot of them go to jail. And sometimes we're looking on the outside when really they're already on the inside serving time for something else, right? And they'll tell a cellmate, they've got 20 years in prison. They're serving 20 years in prison for something else. And their ex is they're like, I'm not going to see him in a long time. And I need to get this off my chest. I need to tell. So that happens every single day too. Why at the house for so long? Well, that's a good question, Cheryl. We think about this as about 40 or 43 minutes, right? When we think of this, but that doesn't mean he was inside 40 minutes. It means he was around that house, maybe in that house for 40 some minutes, but we just have the camera saying it disconnected or saying that it saw picked up motion, right? It may have not been that long at all. I mean, it doesn't take long to unalive a person. Brian Kohlberger unalived 4 in about 9 minutes. Right? Doesn't take long at all. You can do it in no time. Now, it takes longer to get them out of the house than it does to unalive them.
Flipped over at either out of revenge, an ex-wife, somebody like that. It's all very possible, but somebody, it'll get solved. And it could be somebody in a bar talking, getting drunk, or it could be this person that wrote that letter that they feel so bad. And maybe the 2 guys that did it were killed by whoever the boss was, because if they screwed up something like this bad, they want to get rid of them because they're probably going to get caught. And that might lead them to the boss.
Right. The trail
like
of destruction and death.
They kill,
right.
They kill the partners.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, some of the law enforcement sources on this second note were saying that on the FBI level, there was a decision made not to release the information about the contents because of feeling like if they did, the public would lose interest in this case. I found that a little bizarre, given
funny.
the fact of high profile this has been spreading on that. Can you talk about that? With just
I don't
seems
believe
like the
I just don't
the
believe
steps
that.
in this.
I don't believe that. I mean, you got to be stupid to think that the general public is going to lose interest in this. We are not going to lose interest in this after we find out who it is. Technically, when we find out who it is, we're just at the halfway mark then. Right? This is world huge case. So I don't know why, I don't think that's the reason, in my opinion.
Yeah, by the FBI, a local department too.
Yeah, that's really strange. I mean, these things get solved after time.
Hey,
after
Deb,
time
I just emailed you back.
Passes by, but the FBI holding back that information. And the reason that it's going to get solved is because it's such a high-profile case.
Yeah,
it is. It's in the news. One of the clips, my company's social media person took some of the clips from the shows that I've done, and they've gotten like 250,000 views, 600,000 views. I mean, this is a big case. This has been on the news. It's like the Casey case. I did the Casey Kasem case.
Mm-hmm.
I represented their family. It was monstrous. Harvey Levin. I was on TMZ. It doesn't die until you find that body. This will continue because she's on television every day. She's well known. This is a big thorn in the sheriff's sheriff's office, and I don't know how much of a thorn it is in the FBI's. I think the FBI kind of stepped
Logan,
back.
we gotta leave it there. We got a hard break, but appreciate you as always. We'll be right back.
Okay. So there was that right there. Okay. All right, let me show you guys this right here. We're going to get to this. Do you guys think this is sophisticated or not? Sophisticated or not? I think it's somewhat sophisticated, but I don't think it is anything that I don't think this is a Mensa. You know what I mean? The perps could do an anonymous note, at least to say where Nancy is. Yeah. No Nads probably wants it to go away. He's done some really shitty things. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like one of those cases that ends up on cold until someone brags about it getting away with it 10 years from now. I don't think so. I don't think so with this case. I think at the very minimum, genealogy, as long as they have DNA of this perpetrator. As long as they have the DNA, they will find this person with genealogy. Okay, here we go.
Joint FBI Pima County Sheriff's Task Force that's investigating Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, they are reportedly questioning whether they missed a crucial opportunity in the early days of this case. The opportunity? A $4 million crypto ransom demand in exchange for Nancy Guthrie's safe return. That investigators, they answered with just $152 in Bitcoin. That's what's being reported by a former New York Times writer named Howard Blum for an outlet called Airmail. Now, the Nancy Guthrie family, they received multiple ransom communications, but the one that was sent on February 2nd, the day after Nancy disappeared, that was the one that stood out. According to Airmail, it accurately described what Nancy was wearing the night that she was apparently kidnapped, and it mentioned this damaged floodlight in the backyard. So these are details that investigators believed lent credibility to that demand, lent credibility to the note. The email, also the note, also provided a Bitcoin wallet where the money was supposed to be sent. But again, instead of transferring the full $4 million, investigators reportedly deposited just $152 into that Bitcoin wallet as part of a strategy that was designed to see whether the suspects would move the money, would reveal their identities. It's called tickling the wire. They never did. The money has reportedly sat untouched for months.
Genealogy, I still think it's a heavily in his hair. God, I hope not. God. With genealogy, the thing with genealogy is it is probably a middle-aged woman or a middle-aged man going over family trees, whittling it down. And that can take some time. It can really take some time. It takes a lot of work, but they can get it. They could be watching your, I bet you they have. Guaranteed, bet you they have.
And now comes the question. Should investigators have paid? My next guest might know. Todd Spodek, he's a cybercrime attorney who has handled some of the country's most high-profile fraud and crypto cases.
Look happy
currently
to be there.
Representing Ronald Spector's accused of masterminding a $16 million phishing scam.
He looks happy to be there.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the
Always
time.
a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You made a lot of news in the New York Post. I saw your comments about it.
Yes.
Should they have paid the $4 million?
It's really not fair to analyze this from this point and decide whether they should or should not have.
Well, the only reason I'm saying is the reporting that they might be saying we're second guessing what happened.
But that's always going to be the case.
Okay.
They could have paid $4 million and it could have gone nowhere. The issue is that any sophisticated cyber criminal is going to take that cryptocurrency and they're not going to put it in a position where they could trace it. They're not going to use an exchange that has real pedigree information or IP addresses or social security numbers or date of births or anything. They're going to do things to mask it. And so what the FBI is hoping is that they would use a real currency exchange like Coinbase or something where they could use it to tickle the wire to get a lead to other investigative information.
How, I was remembering when that was happening, and I actually talked with a former FBI agent today, and he's like, there was so much talk on the media. So many pundits came on who said they're cybersecurity experts who will track it. They'll be able to, and it might have scared the people off. I mean, what is the ability to actually track this money down and track the identities of people?
It's twofold, right? So one, you have to have the information on the...
Right. I mean, that's the thing about in today's world now, right? Before the internet, when it was big like it is, the internet's always been big, but until like a computer was in everybody's home or in your hand, at least, there, the law enforcement had secrets and stuff. Now there's professionals with every case, everything, and we know a lot what law enforcement can and cannot do. And so that has actually made criminals, they get more intelligent. They know, turn your phone off now, for instance. It used to be, An unaliver would keep their phone on driving down the road, until they knew they could be caught. Thank you, Deb. Appreciate you. Justin, do you think the FBI is close to knowing the author of the second ransom note? In my opinion, I believe the first and the second letter are from the same person. And I believe that they absolutely know who this is. Yeah. I believe they absolutely know who this is, in my opinion. Remember, Harvey put money in the account and no one accepted it. Right. It wasn't enough but it wasn't really enough to entice anybody. You know what I mean? It wasn't enough to entice any of it. So, I don't know. $152 in Canada is maybe 3 days worth of groceries. Same.
Exchange, and then you have to have law enforcement that's actively seeking leads and using external sources. It's the combination of the.
But again, now we have cameras everywhere, freaking everywhere. If it's not on a stoplight, it's on a business. If it's not on a home, your Ring doorbells, your cars, your phones, there's cameras everywhere. And so with it being in such an urban area, there has to be footage. You can't tell me that this person kidnapped a woman and drove out of that neighborhood on some streets and there's no footage. There is footage somewhere. So it's really brown as it could have been translated from another language. Buried with nature as a term that is associated with green burials that is popular in other cultures. Green burials are getting much more popular here in the United States.
Two that could lead them to the actual culprit.
I will probably have a green burial. I just want to be in a sheet in the earth. That's all.
It's not just one. So it's old-fashioned detective work, and the information on the exchange.
Why didn't they take the money?
Why didn't the actual individuals take the money?
$152. Why didn't they
Because if they were to withdraw that money or do something with it, it could have led them to another source. It could have led them to something.
Good
Bigger
question,
question.
Ratui.
Does it give you an idea?
That's a very good question. When did they start raiding Annie's house? Was it before or after the second ransom letter? Good question. And let me find that out for you as this plays.
About who they are. So this is an interesting point. Now there's a conversation. You talk about multiple people. Is it the same person, the masked guy on the porch, the same person making the demands, the same person allegedly writing these notes? Because they believe, authorities, based on the reporting, that the two notes, the first one, the second one, were written by the same or authored by the same people. Do you think there's multiple people here? Is this a sophisticated operation?
I really don't. I deal with a lot of these types of cases, and if you look at the evidence here, you look at that video, you look at him having the gun in his waist, you look at him moving, the tree to sort of block the camera.
Holy
this doesn't
fucking
look
shit.
like a very sophisticated scam. It doesn't look like organized crime. It really looks like a situation that
I'm not showing
evolved to
that.
something they weren't planned for. I think there was a potential to get money for this situation, and they blew the opportunity. And I think they made a fatal mistake, and it's just horrible all around.
There's another
You're about to
conversation
blow
that they
my
had,
channel.
that they didn't think that Nancy. There was one point they didn't know who Nancy.
Sorry, I literally got taken down for a day because of that photo right there. So every time I see that photo and it's not blurred, I'm like, I'm about to stroke out every time I see that picture now.
Nancy was. There's another conversation that she might have, like in the second note, that she might have died.
Absolutely.
This was an older woman. They panicked and they may have felt bad. I mean, there's mixed reporting on whether or not they apologized or not in the note.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anything could happen. I think this is like a fluid situation, right? They may have gotten involved thinking this was going to be a quick get-rich scam and they were going to be able to get money out of it and move on. And now they're involved.
So, let's see here. So on the February 1st, this happens. February 2nd. And then we go to February 3rd. All tips, leads are taken very seriously. Pima County gives an update on the investigation. The 4th. February, was it the 4th when the letter comes out? Okay, yes. The 4th, 6 p.m. on the 4th, Savannah Guthrie says they are aware of the ransom letter and they are ready to talk. February 3rd, they are aware of reports circulating about possible ransom notes. Okay. So, Ratui, that they are looking at, ooh. So they are still looking at Tommaso and Annie's home after the ransom notes at that time. Hey, Thorin, good to see you, my friend. I don't know why, but Justin, you make me laugh when you cuss. Probably because I sound like a purse fell out of my mouth. You son of a... Yeah, that's probably why.
In this basically homicide conspiracy, which is not what they signed up for, and I don't think that's the reality here. So I do think they got scared.
Well,
I
if they really feel bad, why not really reveal where her body is? They say she's buried with
yeah,
nature.
that's a fair question,
right?
I hope they do.
I mean, assuming they're telling the truth about it. I mean, look, this is interesting. There's an FBI source who spoke to TMZ who said they believe the case is ultimately going to be solved, that someone's going to come forward, a friend, an accomplice, a former partner, get more information out there. Is that how a case like this is typically getting solved? And by the way, we're having a conversation about notes that were sent in February. It's June.
Yeah,
but it's never too late for somebody to do the right thing.
I think the FBI source is correct in that there's a lot of opportunities for people to speak. People get arrested on other cases, they get in trouble, and there's always a connection to someone who has information. And ultimately, it's very easy for someone to have loose lips and start talking
Loose
when
lips
it's
sink
convenient for them,
ships.
when there's an advantage to them. And I think that's how these cold cases get broken. And you see that all the time. You see the FBI be able to break these cases that are decades old because someone came forward with new information. And I think that's a real possibility here.
Big news. There was a former FBI agent who went on Megyn Kelly's show and basically said she believes that, you know, for whatever information she has, that the porch guy is going to be identified and arrested soon. TMZ, there's a separate TMZ report that came out just a few hours ago. It says law enforcement sources, they're not close to an arrest this week, that they're not closer than they were this week than they were 2 weeks ago. They're still waiting for a key piece of evidence.
Sounds like a hippie wrote it.
To break the case. What do we make of this?
I mean, I think that
I don't know. I just don't think that, whenever you say she was buried in nature, we took her, or that kind of thing. To me, it sounds, I don't know. I don't think of a 30-year-old. Didn't they take a piece of carpet or something out of Annie's home? Unless I'm wrong, I can't imagine. Well, they was focused in the garage a lot, and I forget what other room. Hold on one second. Annie. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. February 7th, 9 p.m., law enforcement was conducting a consent search at Annie Guthrie's house. 11:33 p.m., all deputies have left Annie Guthrie's house. They were inside for about 3 hours. And then TMZ Harvey Levin says an outlet received a third letter from someone claiming to know, okay, that was, and demanding 1 Bitcoin. The letter reportedly said that the person had tried to contact Savannah and Annie Cameron. That is that one's the fraud guy. March 2nd, 2026, 11:45. That's when they did that. Okay. March 10th, 2026, the Pima County Sheriff's Department confirms investigation still have the blue Honda CRV belonging to Annie Guthrie and her husband Tommaso. The vehicle was impounded February during the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Authorities have said the couple is not considered suspects, but the car had remained in custody. The call came from Aunt Savannah's sister. Also, another very interesting thing about this. Why did the letter just direct Savannah? We're almost done, Sherry. So you're very sweet though. Thank you, baby. Why did the letter only the first letter, the second letter, why only Savannah? Hey, Yahweh, love your name. There was a rug on Nancy's porch. They took the wording. The kind of wording sounds a bit strange, kind of like Annie's strange poetry. I think more distractions to discredit podcasters. Consent search, if they were part of it from a distance, could have helped the word notes partially showing sadness. Seems like this person or whoever wrote it seems a little remorseful, if you will. Guys, the interview room is 5 minutes from now. If you click that, it'll take you right over to the live, first live today on Kick in 4 years. We will be doing Kick live streams. So make sure if you're not joined to Kick, join to Kick. And we'll be doing exclusive live streams over there and videos as well. So sub up over to my Kick. I greatly appreciate all of you guys being here today. I need to thank Annie69, thank you so much for the floating hearts. I appreciate you. Leanne, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate you. Yaya, thank you for the 200 flow state. Appreciate you, my dear. Lolo, thank you for the makeup brush. And thank you for the flowers, Lolo. Thank you for the jewels, Lolo. Thank you for the stars, Lolo. And thank you for the stars, Lolo. Char, thank you for the flow state. Appreciate you, my darling. Thorn, thank you so much for the gold trophy. How you doing? I just seen that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, my dear. Leanne, thank you for the stars, my love. Rain, thank you so much for the 200 jewels, my dear. The sun. Betha, thank you so much for the 10 jewels, and thank you for the flowers. 603, thank you for the 6-7. Appreciate you. Rhonda, thank you for the flowers, the 30 jewels, my dear. Supergirl, thank you for the 200 jewels. Really appreciate you. Carrie, thank you for the 30 jewels. Really appreciate you. Linda, thank you for the flow state, 200 jewels. Appreciate you, my dear. Patty, thank you for the 10 jewels, the gold coin. Thank you so much. Amber, thank you for the 100 2 jewels. Thank you so much, my friend. T8, thank you so much for the sunshine. Really appreciate you. Jenny Penny, thank you for the 2 jewels, the suns, my darling. Apollo, thank you for the flower jewels. Diana Thompson, thank you for the 10 jewels. Appreciate you. Mama B, thank you for the 2 jewels. Appreciate you, my dear. RC, thank you for the 30 jewels. Really appreciate that. Susie Q, thank you for the Sunday 100 jewels. Appreciate you. Debbie, thank you for the 10 jewels, the floating heart. Appreciate you, my dear. And Kimchi, thank you for the 30 jewels. Really do appreciate you. Zelda, 28 months, girl. How you been? So good to see you. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you, love. You are an OG. I really do appreciate you. Let's see here. make sure I can heart that one because I'm on here. And I just need to make sure anything else. If Chris isn't on there too long tonight, I might just come back. We'll have to see. But I have to do a video as well on another case. So be looking for a video. I'll be putting out a video as well. Annie, thank you for the 200 joules. Really appreciate you, my darling. Linda, thank you for the 30 joules. Really appreciate that. Tanya, thank you for the 10 joules. Luck, thank you for the 10 joules. A thumbs up. Appreciate you, my dear. Lauren sent Park the bus 1,000 joules. Wow. Thank you so much, Lauren. Appreciate you. Tanya, thank you for the 10 joules. Really appreciate that, my darling. She would also get the ransom, right? I don't know. That's interesting. Oops. Tanya, thank you for the 20 joules, my darling. Really appreciate you. You know, Jason, a lot of people feel like that. Honeybee, thank you for the 200 joules, my dear. Really, really do appreciate you. Guys, I will see you guys right over. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. Again, if you want to wait, thank you for 20 months, my dear. Really appreciate you. If you hit that button in the chat right there, it will take you directly over to Chris's. I will be there in 2 minutes or less. Thank you, guys. Really do appreciate you. God bless each and every one of you. Take good care of yourselves and the ones you love. You only get so many trips around the sun. Good night and God bless.